It's a famous American in Paris. Well, about 20 miles east of Paris anyway, as Euro Disney springs to life in Marne-la-Vallée. On a site nearly one-fifth the size of Paris, some 5,000 acres, 29 attractions, 29 eating establishments, and 37 merchandise locations comprise Euro Disneyland, a theme park on the order of Mickey's California, Florida, and Tokyo homes. Guests here can expect a typical Disney effect.
I think surprise, I know enjoyment, I think the same way as Americans always have, as the Japanese have for the last 7 or 8 years.
There are some differences, though. Uniquely European influences add that continental charm which is expected to enchant a number of first-year visitors.
Certainly I'll be here with my family, and then hopefully there'll be about 10 or 11 million others.
Transportation to and from the park couldn't be easier. Aside from personal vehicles, guests can use the regional rail line, RER, or by June of 1994, the TGV high-speed train. Additionally, the site lies almost equidistant, less than 20 minutes, from Paris's 2 major airports.
310 million people live within a 2-hour flight, plus Paris has its own 10 million permanent residents, plus 27 million or so tourists that come through Paris every year before we're here. So to be near Paris and have this kind of tourist base and resident market is a gift from heaven.
A gift for visitors, 6 Disney-themed resorts, from the Northwest-inspired Sequoia Lodge to the Newport Bay Club. That's more than 5,200 rooms. And the guests who stay at the Disneyland Hotel get a special treat. It's right at the theme park's front door. Festival Disney, a recreation, entertainment, food, and shopping venue, lights up the night here, as will the longtime Walt Disney World favorite, the Main Street Electrical Parade. Now, that sounds like a lot, but there's more. Golf is set for play later this year. There's tennis and camping at Camp Davy Crockett. And the future? Well, let's just say, stay tuned. This is Bill Logan reporting.
The Euro Disney Resort, a magical story years in the making and relying on the talents of thousands of skilled workers to create. Nearly 40 miles of pipes supply water to the park. 360,000 trees were planted throughout the resort. It took 9.5 million kilos of cement to create 68,000 cubic meters of artificial rock. The talents of skilled artists were necessary to create even the tiniest details, to creating entire mountains and fairy tales.
Things which would have actually been in a castle. It just so happens that in a sequential manner they're telling the story of Sleeping Beauty. This is a totally new idea, a totally new way of telling the story.
Authenticity is important. Even details that the average guest may overlook are a must. From building new brick streets that look old, to checking 700,000 bulbs in the Main Street Electrical Parade, things must be just right. Testing audio animatronic figures like Timekeeper.
Et maintenant, si vous voulez bien m'excuser un petit moment, j'ai quelques ultimes détails à régler.
Well, here on Main Street, the details are just around the corner. We chose our details carefully. We thought, since Walt Disney was the kind of person who always educated, at the same time that he entertained people.
In all, more than 23,000 special props and memorabilia were brought in. It's this attention to detail that creates the fantasy and allows the guests to leave the real world outside the gate. Another result of the Disney magic.
No doubt about it, this is a Disney theme park. Touches reminiscent of the California, Florida, and Tokyo properties abound. But this is France, and things are a bit different here. For starters, you enter through a hotel, the Disneyland Hotel. Check out the Chateau de la Belle à Bois Dormant, the Sleeping Beauty Castle. It's the visual and thematic centerpiece for Euro Disneyland's Fantasyland.
going back and looking at a couple of the fantasy lands that we've created in the past, after having been to Europe, it became obvious that we had to go one step beyond.
Actually, they've gone a number of steps beyond, from stained glass upstairs to a dragon in the dungeon. This castle is truly unique. Another unique attraction here, Alice's Curious Labyrinth.
The hedge maze in Fantasyland, which is based on Lewis Carroll's story of Alice Through the Looking Glass, takes visitors on their own journey that they can set at their own pace. And in a way, it's like a video game. You can program yourself through it in any way you'd like.
Discoveryland, with its Da Vinci, Verne, and Wells imagery, takes guests into the future like no other Disney attraction can.
Allons, ne soyez pas timide, entrez. Entrate. Come on in, everybody. Kommen Sie rein.
Swashbucklers in Adventureland look more real than ever, thanks to advances in audio animatronics technology. And in the American West-inspired Frontierland, there's Big Thunder Mountain, even more lively in this, its fourth reincarnation.
Each one gets a little bit different, a little bit better. This one posed a particular challenge because we decided to put it out in the middle of the rivers of the far west.
And no question, that placement makes quite a splash here. Add to that the Main Street USA arcades, functional covered walkways and exhibits designed to help guests get around more comfortably when the weather's a bit harsh. It all equals Euro Disneyland, part American icon, part new French landmark, a theme park like no other. This is Bill Logan reporting.
For decades, fairy tale castles and the name Disney have been synonymous. For Walt Disney and his creative team of animators, the castle represented the ultimate symbol of fantasy. With the opening of Disneyland in 1955, Walt Disney took this symbol a step further, creating a three-dimensional castle whose portal beckoned to a dream world of endless possibilities. Now, over 3 decades later, and with the advent of Walt Disney World in Florida and Tokyo Disneyland, the fourth and newest Disney castle has a completely new look and a new home in the heart of Europe. It's Sleeping Beauty Castle, the heart of the Euro Disneyland theme park. This classic Disney park is the crown jewel of a total destination resort, the Euro Disney Resort, featuring 6 themed hotels. Festival Disney, an entertainment center with a Wild West dinner show, clubs, shops, and restaurants, a wooded campground, and a golf course. It's in the context of this family resort setting that the Disney Imagineers set about one of their biggest creative challenges, creating an intriguing castle in the heart of a continent renowned for its castles. They were inspired by the castle in the Disney animated classic Sleeping Beauty and the drawings from French literature's The Book of Hours by the Duc de Berry.
The castle in a Disney theme park, I think, is the true symbol of both Disney and fantasy and fairy tale qualities. It's sort of the ending of every living happily ever after dream that was spun by Walt or the writers like Hans Christian Andersen or the Grimm's brothers or whomever, Perrault. In terms of a magic kingdom being the happiest place on earth, as Disneyland is termed in California, the castle, I think, is a symbol of all those dreams.
Now, with the final touches applied to even the tallest spire, the Euro Disneyland Castle towers above the 5 themed lands of the park. Like a giant pink confection, the castle is a reminder to all that a new realm of fantasy, fun, and adventure has opened its doors to a European audience.